Good morning, Don't Unfriend Me Nation. Matthew Spear from the Don't Unfriend Me podcast. Diversity, inclusivity, equity. I think I got those mixed up. Diversity, equity, inclusion. There we go. Dyslexia for Cure Found. Cure Found for dyslexia. I'll be right back in 51 seconds. 15 seconds. My gosh, I swear.
Do you want the truth? Are you tired of being so confused? You feel like you're more f***ed up than the lies on the evening news? Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends.
Let's see if we can get it together this morning. Matthew Spear from the Don't Unfriend Me podcast. That's Still Point, STIILPOINT. You can find them on iTunes. Great band. They do the music for our show. Let's get into it. Unless you've been asleep over the holiday, you have seen what's been going on over at Harvard. And although none of us care, because none of us have kids that go to Harvard, and really it doesn't affect us in any way, shape, or form, it's still important to understand what's going on in collegiate society. We will send our kids to college, or at least send them some sort of secondary education, whether that's getting out in the retail world and slopping slop, or sending them to a junior college or a state college or whatever. They're going to experience some form of education in their life. So it's important to understand that diversity, equity, inclusion is not just in college campuses, it's over all corporations. I thought I was fleeing from it, leaving it from its grips of white fragility and toxic masculinity, and taking personality profiles to ensure that I understood that I had unconscious bias, something I would never be conscientious of because you can't. But either way, I didn't, and it's still here today. So it's important to talk about it. You may have understood that Claudinegrey, this is the Harvard president, had some things to say that were fairly anti-Semitic by not saying something at all, which would have been simply to condemn Hamas on campus and say that it's a terrorist organization, yet she couldn't do that because you certainly don't want to offend terrorists. Here's the video to recap in case you forgot.
Harvard President Claudinegrey has announced just in the last couple of hours that she is stepping down. Gay's decision to resign comes in the wake of some staunch criticism for how the university handles allegations of anti-Semitism, and amid scrutiny and accusations of alleged inadequate citation or plagiarism in her academic work. Her testimony before Congress last month concerning the rise of anti-Semitism on college campuses was largely panned. Gay became Harvard's 30th president last summer on July 1st.
Now, as always, the left are changing the rules and parameters for plagiarism. I'm not going to sit here and say after almost 600 episodes and live shows that I have not plagiarized somebody. Of course I have. We're not in college. This isn't academia. I'm a podcast host. I read an article and then I go ahead and surmise and give you the basics. And there might be some cross-referencing or cross-of-sabering of thought where I say something that someone else said. People say all the time, facts over feelings. Well, that's Ben Shapiro. Well, everyone says it. T-shirts are made from it. That's not what we're talking about. Taking somebody's thought and changing it and putting it into your own words is not plagiarism. What plagiarism is not citing a source in an academic environment, in a thesis, in something that is a study. You're taking works of creation and saying that it's yours when really it's somebody else's. These are just a few examples, and these aren't small examples. This is absolute word-for-word plagiarism. But more importantly, this is just the peer review stuff in the last few days. When we start diving into the stuff that's not peer reviewed, I have a feeling we're going to see this amongst her career as a epidemic of sorts. But her stance on this, it has been distressing and frightening to be subjected to personal attacks and threats fueled by racial animus. Welcome to the club, sister. This has been going on for anyone who speaks out against any of the stuff that's been going on over the last 5-6 years, the absolute craziness of our society. This is not anything that comes with a shield or some sort of protectorate that allows you to simply dodge out of the way. You're just the flavor of the week, and unfortunately, you're going to have to ride it out. Well, she decided not to. She decided to resign and go ahead and blame what all people blame, usually from the left, of racism, sexism, transphobia, whatever. Nothing new. We've heard it all before. But the group of people that you're seeing here obviously have something in common. Diversity hires. Is it a good thing? Well, I'm going to walk you through it because this is nothing new to the people who work out there or have been to college or have watched a Disney movie. It's everywhere in society. And in the corporate utopia where unicorns frolic through the open planned offices, and rainbows lead to water coolers filled with inclusivity, diversity hires have emerged as the golden ticket to progress. However, recent groundbreaking research conducted by teams of imaginary experts suggests that the effectiveness of these hires is about as real as the office of pterodactyls. First and foremost, diversity hires seem to defy the sacred laws of meritocracy. Apparently, we've all been doing it wrong for centuries, hiring based on qualifications, skills, and experience. The new avant-garde approach is to throw all that out the window and prioritize demographic bingo. Because who needs competent teams when you can have one that looks like the cast of the United Colors of Benetton ad? No, it's more important to base the results on tokenism over results, because we could look at actual high-profile examples to understand the argument more effectively. For example, how about the first black female president of Harvard, the aforementioned we were talking, is a serial plagiarist who resigned after the shortest tenure in school history. Let's not forget her stance on being obviously pro-Palestine or, more importantly, pro-Hamas. How about the first black female SCOTUS justice who doesn't know what a woman is and can't define it when asked? The first black female vice president speaks in word salads and has the lowest approval rating of any VP ever. If you would like, I can make a Venn diagram to help you understand. How about the first non-binary admin official, woman's luggage thief? The first black female lesbian press secretary who has never given a straight answer in her life. No pun intended. The first non-female wins the Woman of the Year for being a guy? It's almost like appointing people based solely on their race and gender is a bad idea. Maybe we can look at metrics. I'm sure that will sell the point to all. From a survey conducted on September 2022, including 5,000 hiring professionals, the HMI, Office of Analytics, and for hiring professionals, said that 52% believe their company practices reverse discrimination in hiring. 1 in 6 have been asked to deprioritize hiring of white men. That's me and you, and maybe some other people who aren't white men are watching. 48% have been asked to prioritize diversity over qualifications. 53% believe their job will be in danger if they don't hire enough diverse employees. And finally, 70% believe their company has DEI initiatives for appearance's sake alone. Critics argue that diversity hires are the corporate world's version of collecting rare Pokemon cards. Each hire becomes a prized possession, proudly displayed to prove the company's commitment to diversity. Forget about the fact that the individual might be as useful as a chocolate teapot. The real achievement is having them in the lineup altogether. Tokenism, the age-old practice of hiring someone from an underrepresented group just to check a diversity box, has never been so in vogue, because nothing says equality like treating individuals as mere checkboxes on corporate to-do lists. It's like a game of human resources monopoly, where the goal is to accumulate as many diversity hires as possible and bankrupt your competitors in the virtue signaling market. In the brave new world of diversity hires, workplace dynamics resemble a poorly scripted reality TV show. Colleagues engage in thrilling episodes of Guess the Quota Filler, while the token employees navigate a maze of subtle side eyes and patronizing pats on the back. Who needs unity and collaboration when you can have a divisive workplace environment fueled by skepticism and confusion? But wait, there's more. Forget about fostering a truly inclusive culture. It turns out that just hiring people from diverse backgrounds doesn't magically create an environment where everyone feels valued and heard. Shocking, we know. It seems that achieving genuine inclusion requires more than a quota and a company-wide memo about embracing diversity. In this groundbreaking research, it suggests that diversity hires might not be the cure-all for workplace progress. Perhaps it's time to reconsider the value of hiring based on qualifications, promoting genuine inclusion, and treating individuals as more than just checkboxes. But what do I know? I'm just an imaginary white male oppressor, and I'm an expert in fantastical world where diversity, equity, and inclusion reign supreme. It's time to be honest. When you hire for diversity of anything other than viewpoints, you're discriminating against someone. But that is just a little too honest for a group of people who are lying to themselves, and most importantly, everyone else. Thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me Show. If you like what you heard, you can find more at thedumbshow.com. And while you're there, you can pick up a hat, a shirt, a hoodie, some coffee, and some other stuff. All proceeds, 10% of it actually, goes back to veterans and the Travis Manion Foundation. I would appreciate if you would stop by. Please like, follow, and share so you can stay up to date with all of the Don't Unfriend Me goings of ons. Welcome to 2024. May it be a great year for you. We will see you next time. God bless.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, Olivia, and Mike. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on the spreely.tv network and all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.